We've never been taught how to use blurting properly. Everyone's heard of it, everyone's talking about it, and everyone knows that active recall is the most effective form of revision. But nobody's taught you the difference between narrow and broad blurting, and that is what I'm here to do. My name's Celia, I got 5 A stars in my A levels and all 9s at GCSE, and this is how I use narrow and broad blurting to make my revision 10 times more effective. If you've never heard of blurting, then check the playlist, I've got so many videos about it. But it's basically the idea that you get all of your thoughts down about a topic onto a piece of paper, actively retrieving the information from your own mind. And then this identifies gaps in your knowledge, things that you're getting wrong. It's a really great form of revision to store things in your long-term memory. So what is narrow blurting and what is broad blurting? Narrow blurting is the idea that you blurt about one specific thing. So let's use economics. I could blurt about what a monopoly is. I write it on a big mind map or a big sheet of paper in a list, however you like to do it. It doesn't have to be a mind map form, especially for things like historical events. You can just write an event from start to finish, chronologically on a piece of paper. I digress. So narrow blurting is just about one thing, and it allows you to get into the detail, the real nooks and crannies. So I would put down like the profit maximization point, what the diagram looks like, etc, etc. Compare this to broad blurting. Instead of getting into the specifics with broad blurting, you put down the title of an entire theme or area of the specification that is way less specific. So for example, for economics, it could be market structures. But then, because you're writing about so many different things, monopoly, oligopoly, perfect competition, just an example, you won't be able to go into just so much detail. However, it provides a great overview. So how do you use this to actually make your revision effective? You start with narrow blurting. This could be when you're learning topic. This could be for specific things that you need to revise that you're weaker on. And then when you've gotten more comfortable with all of the topic, you then attempt a broad blur. Because bear in mind, you can have less detail on this broad blur. It will be way bigger, it'll be on a bigger sheet of paper, it'll contain more words, but you'll just be able to put things in brief. So I wouldn't be able to have all of the information, examples of monopolies, this kind of thing, the profit maximization, but I would in brief be able to explain the market structure without the details. Do you see what I mean? I found that broad blurting was very helpful towards the exam because it really highlighted topic areas that I needed to go over. Allowed me to review a lot of information in one go, which is so important when you have an exam the next day. And let me tell you something, I'm going to be posting my top tips and tricks that you can use for any exam every single day until exam season. Be sure to follow so you don't miss out.